What's going on, everyone? Protopon here. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, it's been a moment since the last time we've done a tier list video, and I decided since Christmas is right around the corner, there is no better time to do the Ice-type Pokemon than it is right now. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I've been waiting to do this one for a while now, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it too. So guys, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, before we get into it, guys, for any of you who might be new to the channel and new to my tier list videos, there are 3 quick disclaimers I want to get out of the way before we get into it. First and foremost, we are ranking Pokemon solely based off of their design. We're not ranking them based off of their competitive viability. 2, we are only ranking final stage evolution Pokemon for the most part. Every now and then, in rare occasions, if I like a pre-stage evolution before the final stage by a large margin, I will use those Pokemon as that evolution line stand-in. Very rarely does that happen, though. Thirdly, when it comes to the S tier, we will be putting things in there in no specific order at first. At the very end of the video, we will rearrange the S tier from what I like from the most to the least. Of course, it's S tier, so those margins are usually pretty small to begin with. But everything else, A tier and below, we will be ranking on the spot in exact order of how I like these Pokemon. So without further ado, let's get into it. Our first Pokemon is the Alolan version of Sandslash, and immediately, guys, I love this design. It is by far my favorite Alolan retrain of a Pokemon, by far. Sandslash just fits this typing so much. The design is so on point. It is probably one of the best retrains to date in any generation. It fits Sandslash so well. The steel typing going alongside it is really cool too. All pun intended. And with that said and out of the way, guys, let's get into Alolan Ninetales. And if you've seen my fairy type tier list, this should come to no surprise. I do like it obviously better as an ice design than a fairy design, but I still think top of A tier, and this might move down depending later on, but I still think A tier fits this Pokemon perfectly fine. I guess there is a 4th disclaimer for any of you that are new. Depending on the typing of a Pokemon, sometimes might land it in a different tier than a previous tier list, but in this case, Ninetales is going to stay in the A tier. Moving on here, we've got Gen 1 Dugong, and I know a lot of people give this thing a lot of hate just because the design is just so basic that it really does just look like a normal animal. But I think Dugong is still fairly like a decent design, even in its simplicity. But I am going to put it in the C tier. I still like the Pokemon, but again, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to use one. Moving on here, we have Cloyster, and I love Cloyster. I'm actually torn between either putting it at the top of A tier or putting it into S tier, but honestly, I'm just going to throw it into S tier. I think this design, I mean, it's really good. For Gen 1 design, it is definitely fantastic, and I think it actually deserves being an S tier, so we're going to throw it in there. Moving on, we've got Jinx and D tier. We all know Jinx's design is absolutely creepy, and it's not good. It's a good Pokemon. It's a decent Pokemon, I should say, you know, as far as competitive goes, or not so much competitive, but like usability goes, but its design is just terrible. Moving on, we've got Lapras, and Lapras is, again, an S tier design in my opinion. Such a good Pokemon design. I really don't have too much to say about it, but it's just, you've got that like Loch Ness Monster look to it, and it looks really good. Clean, very clean. as well as Articuno. Articuno, definitely an S tier design. I'm surprised we've got so many S tiers this early into this video, but in all honesty, Gen 1, especially with the retrain of Sandslash, these are all bangers. Again, we'll rearrange these at the end of the video, but let's just move on for now. Weavile here, if you see my Dark type tier list, it landed itself in the B tier. I think B tier is still where it's going to reside here in the Ice type tier list. It definitely looks more like a Dark Pokemon than an Ice type Pokemon to begin with, but I think its design overall is still pretty good to land itself in the B tier here as well, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, moving on, we have Mamoswine. Mamoswine is a really good design. Definitely A tier worthy. I think Alolan Ninetales, though, just looks better in all honesty, but good typing. Ice, ground, pretty good typing. Just a really powerful Pokemon altogether. Let's move on to the Delis. We've got Delibird and Iron Bundle. Yeah, Iron Bundle. That's what it is. Honestly, Iron Bundle, A tier. It's definitely a better design. Usually, depending on the retrain, when it comes to Paradox Pokemon, a lot of the times they'll typically sit next to each other, but in this case, Iron Bundle just definitely looks so much better because he's so robotic and whatever. Normal Delibird, I'm actually going to put into C tier. I think it gets a lot more hate just because of how trash it is in battle, but its design is honestly not that bad. It's definitely better than Jinx, so we're going to land this thing in C tier. We're going to call it there for now. Moving on, we're going to have Glalie, and Glalie I like a lot, in all honesty. I think it's A tier worthy in all honesty. I know it's kind of simple just because it's a ball, but honestly, it just looks so good in my opinion. So I think the A tier is pretty fair for it. So I'm going to leave it there. Moving on, we've got Walrein. Walrein is a good Pokemon, but I think I can't really put it any higher than towards the top of B tier for now. I really do like the Pokemon, and I definitely would use it in a playthrough. But you kind of get it towards the end of the game. Usually you have like a water type by the end of the game when it comes to, Hoenn. And just picking it up for its ice typing really isn't that big of a deal. But I think the design overall, it's fairly good. I think B tier, again, it's a fair placement for it. Regice is my favorite Reggie, and its design is definitely S tier worthy. Maybe the top of A tier. No, it is literally the living embodiment of ice. And that's what we're talking about here. Its design is completely clean, looks so good. I really don't have much more to say about it. I love the design of this Pokemon. Abomasnow. I think Abomasnow definitely can be a B tier Pokemon. I definitely don't like it as much as I like Weavile, so B tier, I think it's fair. Decent typing. It's definitely a lot better now in Gen 9 than it's been in the past because they changed the way hail works to having it be snow now, so the interactions just work better. But again, design-wise, I think B tier is fine. Moving on, we have Glaceon, and Glaceon is definitely A tier worthy. Some people could probably make a good argument for S tier, but I think A tier is fairly good. I definitely like it better than this. Definitely better than this. Actually, I like this better than this for sure. I like it better than the Mamoswine, but I don't think I like it more than the Alolan Ninetales, so we'll put our Eevee evolution friend right here. And I don't think anybody really can have too many complaints about that. Let's get this here and Iron Bundle here. I think that's pretty fair. So far, this is looking pretty good. Moving on, we have Frostlass. And if you've seen the ghost type video, this thing definitely deserves an A tier. Still does. I think it definitely looks... I mean, it just looks good overall. As a ghost and as an ice type. Obviously, it looks more ice type than ghost type, but it also looks like a ghost type to me. So, definitely better than Iron Bundle. Definitely better than Glalie. Do I like it better than Mamoswine? Actually, yes. I do. Let's move this around here. But I definitely think I would rather have a Mamoswine than a Glalie, so... Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Do I like it better than Glaceon? Honestly, personally, yes. Yeah, I like that. I still think Alolan Ninetales looks better. So we'll move on from there. Next, we've got Vanillux, right? I think it's Vanillux. Yeah, you know, the ice cream Pokemon. B tier. I mean, it's pretty thematic, but a lot of people give this line a lot of hate. But I think the design is not honestly that terrible. I definitely like Abomasnow better, but I think B tier is pretty fair. So we'll put it there. We'll leave it there. Beartic. Honestly, I feel like they could have done better. Cubchoo is definitely cuter. I actually probably do like Cubchoo a little bit more than Beartic. I guess if I would have had to say, Cubchoo could have made it into the bottom of B tier, but I think, honestly, Beartic can be at the top of C tier for me. I think that's pretty fair placement for it. I really don't have too much to say on it. I've never used one before, but it is what it is. Cryogonal, again, is one of those very thematic looking Pokemon for this. Definitely looks better than this. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Moving on, guys, we have Kyurem. Kyurem is definitely an A-tier design for sure. Yes. I don't think I like it better than my top 3 in A tier, but I think this is fair. Kyurem is a pretty solid looking Pokemon. He's definitely a really cool ice dragon for sure. Don't have too much to say on him though, because again, I haven't actually used one before. I didn't play that generation, but definitely a solid design. Going forward, we have what is this? Aurorus, right? Aurorus. If you guys have seen my rock type tier list, this landed itself in the A tier. It's definitely going to land itself here again. I think I like Glalie look better though. Yeah, I think that's fair. Fair placement. Moving on, we have both of the Avalugs, and I know they're not that great, you know, as far as in battle goes, but design-wise here, I gotta give Avalug, the normal version of this, a lot of credit. It is very on point. Honestly, I think this is fair. I have mixed feelings on this one. I think this can go to the top of C tier. It's not terrible, but giving it the extra typing kind of made it worse. If anything, I feel like they could have made it steel typing, but it is what it is. That's on Game Freak. We have Crabominable next, and yeah, this can go into D tier. It definitely looks better than the Jinx, but this thing is just one ugly Pokemon. Like, goodness. I'll put it in D tier. Don't have too much to say about it. Yeah. Mr. Rhyme, honestly, good Pokemon, good retrain. Definitely better looking than original Mr. Mime. So that being said, I think B tier is definitely fitting for this thing. I'm going to put it under the Abomasnow, I think. Yeah, Abomasnow just looks more menacing, and I like that a little bit more than the Mime, but I think B tier is a fair placement for Mr. Rhyme. If you guys like Mr. Rhyme, leave it in the comment below and tell me why you like him. Moving on, Frostmoth. We've been over Frostmoth before in the bug type tier list. Go check that out. Frostmoth, I do believe I put him in B tier as a bug. It definitely looks way better as an ice type, but I still think B tier is still where it's gonna land. Yeah, I think this is fair. Definitely my top 3 so far in the B tier. We're actually getting close to being done with this list already because ice type, there's not that many ice types in all of Pokemon's history. So Ice-Q is next. Ice-Q is a whatever Pokemon. Honestly, C tier. I mean, he's a penguin, which is cool, but honestly, I think I like Delabird's design just better. C tier is fine, I think, and I don't have too much more to say on it. Arctozolt, great Pokemon in my opinion, design-wise. Do I want to put him in A tier is the question. He's also an electric type. Forget where I put him in the electric tier list. But I think B tier. I think it was in B tier there. I think B tier is still fair here. It's just a mishmash of these, you know, fossil Pokemon. Were just kind of weird for Gen 8. But I do like this one. I think it's fine. B tier is fine. I think that's what we're going to go with here. Arctovish, same kind of MO here. Arctovish looks a little bit cleaner. Not going to lie, but I still like Arctozolt better. And I guess it's going to be by a little bit here. I think I still like Abomasnow better, but I think I'm going to put the fish right here. I think that's pretty fair. And we'll move on from there. Glacier, definitely A tier. It's very on point for the theme. Looks nice. I think I still like Glalie better for design, so let's do this. I think that's fair. Yeah. Honestly, the ghost, I think it's ghost type. Yeah, ghost type version of this just looks better, so we'll put the A tier there for a glass tier. Moving on, we've got, oh geez, what is this thing called again? Gen 9. It's actually kind of cool in all honesty. Cetitan, right? Yeah, Cetitan. Honestly, not half bad design. It's a really big Pokemon. But I don't think I can put it any higher than B. We'll put it above the fish. We'll do that. I think that's fair. I do like it. It's like a big, like, horned whale kind of thing. It's pretty cool. It's not bad. I like it. Getting close to the end here, we got our last two. We have Baxcalibur, the pseudo-legendary of Gen 9. I know a lot of people kind of gave it a lot of crap for the design. Like, it could have been better. I do agree. But I do think it looks better than most people give it credit for. in all honesty, I'm going to put it 4th in my B tier listing. I think that's actually pretty fair for it. And that's going to leave us to our last Pokemon, guys. We have Chen Pao. And if you've seen the Dark type video, this is one of those rare occasions where in the Dark type video, I gave it an A tier for the Dark typing. But it is so thematically on point for the Ice type that it's going to bump up to the S tier in this video. And guys, we are going to now get into the segment of the video where we rearrange S tier from best to worst or whatever. Obviously, all of these, in my opinion, are very good Ice types. Obviously, something like Cloyster is more of a water type than it is an Ice type in design, but I still just really love Cloyster's overall design. So, but I think for that, maybe I will put it at the bottom. Honestly, this might be the top. We'll do this. Articuno is my favorite out of the 3 original legendary birds. Do I like Articuno more than Regia? Yeah. There you have it, guys. That is the Ice type tier list for me. I think the Sandslash just looks so good. It is so on point. And it's still pretty cute, too. So, there you guys have it. There is my Ice type tier list. Guys, leave in a comment below who is your favorite Ice type Pokemon. Even if it's a pre-stage evolution, leave it in a comment below. Let me know. I look forward to reading those comments, guys. I do read all my comments, so yeah, please go and leave a comment. I would love to hear your guys' feedback. If you guys have an idea of what tier list I should cover next, leave that in the comment below, and I will take it under consideration. And with that, guys, I hope you guys have a great holiday season, no matter what you guys celebrate. For me, it's Christmas. But if you guys celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and all that other stuff, I hope you all have a merry celebration season for this holiday season, guys. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time for today, so until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Take care. I'm Protopon. Peace.